Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Men Talking Mindfulness. Our guest today is Kathleen Riley, founder of Presencing Peace Method and an expert in neuroplasticity and meditation. Kathleen has dedicated her career to helping men break free from the chronic stress cycle, rewiring their minds and bodies to create lasting emotional well-being and peace. Today, we're going to dive into how you can transform stress into peace, redefine masculinity, and harness the biology of change to heal and thrive.
Raw, uncut, and unapologetic. Welcome to Men Talking Mindfulness.
Sounds great, John. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Hey, Kathleen, thank you for joining us. And hey, just simple, guys. If you have been receiving value from the show, please, we ask one little request. Maybe share it with 3 of your friends right now. You can share this episode or one of your other old favorite episodes, or maybe you can hit us up on social media on X or Instagram or TikTok at Men Talking Mindfulness. We just want to grow, and we appreciate and can use your help to grow. Or if you like to even take a deeper step and be a sponsor of the show, head to mentalkingmindfulness.com to learn more about our sponsorships, or you can simply text MTM to 33777 to get that information as well. All right. So we are going to take our 1 breath grounding practice because it all seems like use a little grounding in this space. Right. So that's the way, Kathleen. We're just going to exhale all the way out. Let it go. Drop it down. Feel your feet or feel your seat. And take a big, giant inhale in the belly. And feel through the middle. And maybe all the way from the head. And let that go. All right. And just thanks, everyone, for being here. Thank you for being here, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Let's jump in. John,
Let's do it.
Let's start with you, my man.
And thank you for that grounding practice, Will. I've had a crazy week already. It's Wednesday, crazy week. Got home super late last night, got up early this morning. I'm jumping on another plane here in a little bit.
Oh my
God. And I'm smoked. So I drank a lot of caffeine this morning. And so my anxiety level, unfortunately, is higher than it should be. So speaking with you 2 guys this morning, it's perfect. It's exactly what I
need to hold space for John, Kathleen.
Yes,
we got to hold space for John. John is our subject today with anxiety and stress. This is perfect. This is perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I set it up this way intentionally.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Kathleen, again, welcome to the show. So excited to have you. You and I connected, about a month ago or maybe a little bit more. And I was telling Will right before we hit record, you ran me through this incredible meditation, and I felt so relaxed afterwards. So very excited to be speaking with you. That all said, you've worked with so many men through presencing peace. I just sounded like Mike Tyson there for a second.
I love Mike, dude.
Through presencing peace and that presencing peace method. What are some of the biggest transformations you've seen in their lives? Whether it's their health, their relationships, or just general overall happiness.
Yeah. So pre-sensing is a method that is rooted in neuroscience, neuroplasticity, and the science of meditation, through brainwave mapping and heart wave mapping. So this work has allowed fathers, husbands, men, right? Generally between, kind of in that midlife stage, to move out of a state of kind of being subject to the outer chaos, right? Which we know that when you're caught in that chronic stress response, which is the inner world, if you will, what's going on within, then creates the chaos outside. And gosh, so with neuroplasticity, healing the brain and healing the heart, healing the nervous system and meditation, it's not, you don't see one thing change, you see everything change because the human being is so holistic and all these facets are so interconnected. So many shifts, many. Sciatica disappearing in one meditation.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I can explain how these things happen in a little bit, but significantly lowering the blood pressure. So, I
Yep.
would have a client after 3 to 4 weeks of daily meditation goes back to the doctor, wow, Jim, what have you been doing?
Hmm.
I've
Right.
just been disconnecting from my outer environment and upregulating my emotional state. Oftentimes, what'll happen is, it's really a lot of times fathers who want to make that transformation because they realize, okay, so that chronic stress response, right? That chronic fear-based information, really, emotion is information for the nervous system or the body. So if you're stuck in that chronic fear and anxiety, that can lead to all kinds of symptoms, right? It can lead to, real outbreaks in anger, patterns in really severe anger. And so, for example, it's not uncommon for a father to reach out and say, I see my children mirroring my bad habits.
Mm.
And
This guy. Yep.
Oh,
For
yeah,
sure.
and I want to transform that, but I don't have the tools. And that's a large reason why I started my company, as I found that years ago I started noticing, men are expected to be these greater versions of self, but they're not given the tools. They're not, it's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, other transformation. So that individual, that father is moving from a very unconscious reaction of anger
yeah.
into, moving into the awareness stage and then into the rewiring stage where he's
Yeah.
re-educating the nervous system and building new neural circuitry in the brain that says, okay, when I get cut off on the road, or whatever the stimulus is, right, there's always some kind of activating factor.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm teaching because I've already educated my nervous system on what the frequency, the emotion of, because energy or emotion is just energy in motion, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I've already educated my nervous system on what the frequency, the energy, frequency meaning just the rate at which certain energy vibrates. So the energy, we'll go with that term, um, of peace and calm and safety and love, right?
Mm.
It doesn't matter if you're male or female, every human being needs to feel that deep love, that connection, that value. So you're educating your nervous system on this repetitiously for a month, and then the second portion of that process, the pre-sensing 8-week process, is to then teach your brain.
Yeah.
Every time I get cut off in traffic, and I have seen this with clients, literally at the end of this period, they're coming to me, they're saying, Kathleen, this man, this guy, I know this person cut me off in traffic, and you know what? I looked at them and I said, ah, my brother, I wish you the most wonderful day.
That
I
is,
wish
And
that's
more
really
men would
tough.
say that too. Oh my
right,
God. This is
yeah,
awesome.
like,
All
wow,
right.
be well, my friend.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
8 weeks before, he's, doing all kinds of madness
Flipping
that's
the
only
bird.
harming
Yeah.
himself, right?
Well,
That
what is it?
anger only hurts himself.
Well, you're kind
Re-
of, are you alluding to, sorry, John, you want to go?
No, I just first off, I just want to apologize because I butchered the name of the method. I said presencing
That's
instead of
fine. Well,
pre-sensing. I didn't realize that's what it was meaning. Pre-sensing.
Mm.
So I love that.
pre-sensing
Yeah.
in meditation, you pre-sense through changing your emotions, up-regulating
Yeah.
a different you, a new you.
Well, is that is that what you refer to, or part of the definition of this positive neuroplasticity? Can you kind of break that down for us, and also, like, how does doing so, like actively working on your neuroplasticity, which you're going to talk about, it's like, does that help to us to rewire our relationship to stress?
Yeah, so positive neuroplasticity is a vein of study that looks at the biology and neuroscience of emotion and,
Excellent.
positive emotion, right? But
Mm.
it also looks at how, so every every negative emotion that you have, be it rumination, resentment, worry, anger, that all negative emotions activate the stress response, right? The production of stress hormones in the body.
Mm.
So you don't have to be a person who's in chronic fight or flight. If you're a person who's generally engaging day in and day out with negative emotional patterns, your body is in dysregulation. So
What do you mean
yeah,
dysregulation? Can you just explain, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is,
we're gonna
sounds
go
like,
down a lot
well,
of
no, I mean, I mean,
side
even
paths.
just at high level, it's like, I mean, like you're
Yeah,
saying, so what, dysregulation. So there must be something we are regulating or trying to
right.
regulate, or the body's regulating, right?
So the autonomic nervous system being that center that regulates the different functions of the body.
Yeah.
Now, you can think of it as the nervous system, ANS, it's in a particular environment. And that environment is, your body, you're within your inner environment. And that environment feeds information to the nervous system. And that information is either harmony
Mm.
or it's dysregulation, coherence or incoherence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your inner environment, um, you have thoughts and emotions. And if you're chronically engaging in negative emotions and negative thoughts, right, to feed off of each other, then you are putting your nervous system into dysregulation and incoherent state. And yeah,
Got it.
and
No,
does
thank
that
you. Yeah.
help? Yeah,
No, it does. Yeah. So it's like, it's that, by receiving stimulus, right? And instead of it being neutral and just being stimulus, like we process it in a way that creates this stress response that leads to this dysregulation.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So yeah, so there's so much beautiful science out there that
Yeah.
says your thoughts alone can activate
Oh,
the
hell
stress
yeah.
response, right?
Yeah.
You know?
All the time.
Yeah, I
So
know.
then,
Yes.
Right.
so then you can train. So what's really fascinating here, and then just the last piece,
Great.
what is so greatly ignored is the power of the heart. So the magnetic field of the heart is 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain.
Damn.
So when you are training your nervous system to move, and your brain, of course, there's no separation between brain and body. I'm not like a head here and a body here. It's
Life would be
constantly,
easier.
constantly interacting. But no, it wouldn't be as fun. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
oh, yeah, maybe. What's your
There'd be
definition of
no
fun?
challenges.
I'm
There'd
just
be
kidding.
no lessons. Nothing to overcome.
That's true. Very true. Right. Right. Very
I
true.
may, I may as well not have incarnated here to
Yeah, I
planet
know.
Right.
Earth.
Man, just stay plugged into the matrix. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but so the heart in meditation, and you guys experience this a lot in meditation, it's so critical if we're really using the science of the heart and brain connection, the heart brain connection.
Mm.
It becomes really, really paramount to be able to tap into the emotions of the heart and start changing and elevating those emotions to heal the stress response, that chronic stress response, right?
Well, for that stress response, for men or for people in general, but you're working a lot with
Specializing,
men.
focusing, yeah.
Yeah. For those who feel like stress has taken over their lives, what's the first step forward to change, or I guess what's one action our listeners may be able to take today?
Baby steps, baby
Baby
steps, yeah.
steps.
So take 5 minutes,
Hmm.
and I will say that you're never going to experience change without daily application.
Thank you for saying that. No, I mean, we say it all the time.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
consistency is the answer.
right. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But it's really good to experience what you don't know, get a taste for that calm, that peace, that here in the present. Which, by the way, is another reason a lot of men reach out, because they realize, oh, my kids are growing up so fast and I'm not present with them. And then
Yep.
that's the big shift as well. But so, okay, first of all, just become aware of, get a pen and paper, become aware of one thinking, feeling pattern you want to change. Just one thing. It could be, we could use the example from earlier, getting cut off in traffic, or it could be a reoccurring argument that you have with your spouse that's just constantly, activating that response. Become aware of what is the stimuli, what words or what situation is involved, what's the stimuli, and then become aware of what you're feeling, what's coming up in your body. And you have to, we'll get into that later, the new or whatever, you have to learn to feel again. You have to learn to feel again. And a lot of men have unlearned the ability to feel because it's safer. But
It's less scary.
it's less scary.
Well,
It's
how
less.
about how about one baby step that men can begin feeling again?
Yeah. Okay. To begin feeling again. 5 minutes
Again.
in the morning, right?
Every day.
Every day. Wake up and close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart or your chest, put your hand on your chest and feel your heart beating against your palm. Your hand allows you to draw your awareness into your heart. And then you can use the box breath if you want. 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold.
Yeah.
Or you can just breathe deeply and slowly, 5 seconds on the inhale, 5 seconds on the exhale. But you're moving your breath in and out of your heart.
Love it.
So you're consciously flowing in and out. And as you do that, you start to feel. Yeah, go ahead.
And this would be something you do over that 5 minutes. It's just you can repeat the box breath or just keep that nice, even that, I guess that anchoring breath we did at the beginning of the practice, just to keep doing a whole 5 minutes of that.
But do it in the heart.
Do it
in and out of the heart.
Oh, okay. Right.
And then if you can, once you graduate from that, start to activate an elevated feeling. Gratitude, love, kindness, compassion.
Right. Through the imagination, I got. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right,
yeah. Everything is through the imagination.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, that's how the rewiring takes place. Yeah, John.
Well, I've done some heart math work, right, which is all heart coherence, and we do a lot of what you just mentioned, putting your hand on your heart. And I was actually kind of just going through that exercise with you there, just for 1 minute, and I could feel the change. But when you're doing that, on the Heart Math app, it shows your coherence, and it specifically mentions, if I remember correctly, I need to do it again, it's been a while, thinking about something that you love. Like I would think about my wife, or I would think about my children or my dogs, and just tapping into that positive energy helps you to tap into that positive heart coherence, which I think changes the vibration that you mentioned before in us all. So I guess I say that to maybe add, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong here, Kathleen, over and above the physical act of putting your hand over your heart and doing the breathing, like you mentioned, Will, the imagination is thinking about something that, I don't know, it makes you feel positive. Would that be a part of it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's how I started. When I started this method, that's how I built the meditations originally, was to use memories. And I still bring that in a little bit, but so much of it is, so much of what I focus on now is connecting to 0 point, unified fields, quantum consciousness,
Oof. All right.
the infinite, that space of no space and no time, right? Timelessness.
Yes.
That gorgeous, gorgeous, amazing place to hang out.
Yeah.
And in that place, you are nobody, you are no one, you're nowhere, you're nothing, you're in no time. So there's really no need to access memories. And what I found too was that, many clients struggled to, when you're connecting to those heart-based, qualities like compassion, that wasn't one of them, but love, you're connecting to love. People, people just have experienced so much hardship and so much difficulty and pain in their lives that was difficult for a lot of men. And again, if you haven't allowed yourself to feel, and I want to emphasize this point to your listeners, that there's always each emotion, you could think of it as a coin. There's always two sides to one coin. If you are numbing sadness, for example, then you're also numbing joy.
Yep.
If you're numbing, uh, you know, um, pain, or maybe you've been hurt in some way, you're also numbing love. So there's no, everything is one.
Right.
There's no separation. That's the great illusion, right?
Yeah.
And um, so when you've numbed those difficult emotions, then you've also numbed the positive emotions, and then suddenly, you're 45 years old, and you've lost all love for life.
Mm.
Everything's become mundane, monotonous. There's no novelty. There's very little joy and excitement, and you're just going through the motions. That's because you've lost your capacity to feel, and to feel is to really live.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, right? I mean, you're lowering the contrast between the two sides of that coin, if you will. So the way that I imagine it right now, I'm sitting here in a bright room, and if I walk outside, it's bright, but the contrast is not as much. But if I were to be sitting in a completely dark room, that's quote unquote the sadness, the metaphor for the
Right?
sadness.
Yeah.
And if I walked out from this dark room into the bright sunlight, there's going to be a very noticeable difference. So in that regard, I'm appreciating the sunlight. Again,
Yeah.
the metaphor here being the happiness. So that
Yeah.
makes total sense. You're numbing or lessening the difference between the two, the
Yeah.
contrast.
Well,
Beautiful.
I think what's also about the coin analogy, which I think is great, but also tying it to what you said earlier, getting to the essence, getting to the stillness, getting to the I am, is like, if you're flipping over that coin, there's that space between both of them. That's where we are. So we can, as the work, I know the work that you're doing, Kathleen, the pre-sensing and the work that we do as well. It's like we get to be aware when we're sad or angry or frustrated. So
Yeah.
then we can like make the choice to flip the coin over to the other side.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just, it's like we just pick up a coin during the day. It's like, I hope I'm not an asshole today, and then throw it up in the air. It's like, oh, God damn it. It's like, no, you get to make the choice.
Yeah.
And that's
What
what's
wolf
so
will you feed?
right. Yeah, there you go. And that's what that's the power of these practices are. And that's why we keep talking about them, because it's like you can really make a huge difference in your life, right? If you you begin to wake up to how you're being, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't even matter good or bad.
Yeah.
Just be aware of what you're doing and what the energy you're putting in the world. It's not just the inner emotions, but those emotions are expressed also outside of us. People can feel them too. So it's like, you got to be responsible for all of the vibrations, and just taking those 5 minutes, however you use those 5 minutes, but definitely to get on the inside, is going to help you to become aware that, like, wait, I am, I've said it before. It's like, I am the problem and the solution. And it's like, what do I want my day to be? How do I want the rest of my life to be? And I need to take action and take practices in order to move in that direction if I want to change, for sure.
Yeah, it's so magnificent to realize you're the solution.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
God.
like an insane amount of incredible experiences start to happen when you
Yeah.
open up and you grow, and yeah.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper into masculinity.
Yeah, yeah.
We love that you work with men. I mean, so do we. I mean, we have men in our first word in our title, right? Men talking mindfulness, right? So it's like
And
so.
I'm not a man, so all
No,
I
you're
can
not
do
a
is
man.
talk
I
about
mean,
my
we can clearly see you're
experiences.
not a man, exactly. But it's like it's great to get the female perspective on this
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's got to be interesting to work with men and being a woman. So how would you let's just get how would you define masculinity and how does that understanding help us to kind of heal and grow?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, it's such an honor to support men in their journey,
Yeah,
because you just, you have these conversations, someone reaches out, he's not sharing he's not sharing challenges with his wife, he's not sharing, anything with other men in his life. It's
That's weak
all,
to do that. That would,
yeah,
that's what, at least that's the perception. If I'm sharing
yeah,
with my friends that I'm having a challenge,
oh,
that I'm
yeah,
feeling, that I'm
yeah.
hurting, it's
yeah.
like, come on, buddy, suck it up, buttercup. And we even say that to ourselves,
Buttercup.
right? I think we say that to ourselves. I know I'm guilty of it when I walk
Yeah.
around and I'm sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, and I try to push back against
No,
this,
man, go
right?
to the toilet and process your emotions.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so right, so there's like two different types. I mean, oh gosh, it's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, just dealing with this concept of, masculinity. I mean, human being. Okay, behind that is the human being.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, you could look at two types of masculinity. One is I mean, I hate to say it, but a pretty low vibrational type, which is,
The knuckle
where
draggers. Right? The knuckle draggers, John. We talk about
Uh,
them, right?
no, man.
knuckle draggers,
I'm a
what are
knuckle dragger.
I
these?
know. I am too. I'm
The
sorry. I'm sorry.
caveman, like the
Or
Neanderthals.
barbarian. Just a fucking barbarian.
Knuckle
Anyway. Yeah.
draggers.
Sorry, Kathleen. Like we.
No, 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 you're fine. Um, so, okay. I feel like I want to go into have you talked about, this is like a little bit going on to, have you talked about, the energy centers of the body and, one, two,
Talked a
three,
little
four,
bit
five,
about
six,
that, like
seven,
with the
the energy
chakras.
points? Yeah,
Oh, the
chakras, the
chakras. Yeah,
energy
and the
Yeah,
points.
Shuddha. I
Do
mean,
you,
we haven't touched on it too much,
loosely. It's
loosely,
similar.
but
I think we
like,
talked
yeah.
about it maybe in the first season. Will, I think you did with an
Oh
episode.
yeah, it was a long time ago for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, and this is the energetic realm, right? So
this
we're
is,
going to talk about the low
we're gonna,
energy masculine. Is that what we're
yeah,
going to
we're
talk
gonna
about?
go
Okay,
into the energetic realm.
Okay.
Okay.
great. Let's do it. Yeah.
So we know, science is showing us that there's
Yeah.
literally these balls of neuronal matter, these clusters of neuronal matter that move all the way up the spine. Okay, starting at the pelvic floor,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the that's the center of energy, for bringing life, right? It's a sexual center, and it's a center for safety, and actually, the second center is for safety. That's the center for life force energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's passion. But that if there's too much attention there, as you know what happens, it starts to become overactive, and then you get stuck in a overactive low vibration.
Mm.
And then you can move
Why is
into
that
that.
that's a lower vibration? Because it's like lower in our chakra system, lower in our pelvis. You mean? You know what I mean?
Well, no, more so that it's not balanced between the higher vibratory
Oh, right, right.
centers.
So there has to be like an well, not an equality, kind of
Equanimity,
a
harmony.
equanimity, a
Yeah,
harmony through the
yeah.
right. I mean, one
Hmm.
thing like I think maybe for people to use your imagination and just picture this, it's like there's if I may, Kathleen, like there's like almost like think of like your what we're talking about here in this energy system is in what's called the Shushudna. Right, it's like think of it as a chimney that runs from the very crown of your head all the way down to the base of your pelvis. And then there's these energy centers in between. So there's seven of them, right? We start at like the pelvis, the belly button, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown of the head. And so there's 7 of them, but we need to find is not just staying in the lowest pelvic area, but rising the kundalini, rising the energy, and having it have a nice harmony throughout the top, the bottom, and the sides. Is that
Right,
kind of
right.
right? Okay.
And yeah, well, and that's where because that's where, men can develop very severe sex addictions and, where there's
Right.
way too much
Yeah.
attention put
Yeah.
in that area.
Right. Okay. Got it. Excellent.
Right? And so then you can move into the second center, which is just below the belly button, right? And that's safety. And then you can move into the third center, which is, just at, upper abdomen, and that's willpower.
Yeah.
But basically, these are the lower energy centers of the body, and they are what comprise the animal, right? Essentially, the animal of the human being. And the human being does not start rising to their higher nature until they start activating the heart. And so when we look at one level of masculinity, it's, this fear-based competition. Competition is great, but not when it's driven by fear,
I love that. That's
right?
excellent.
Yeah, I
John,
was trying to.
where'd that come from, John? That was quite a yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about all the competition that we've talked about in the past, whether it's sports, whether it's in the locker room. I mean, whether it's comparing ourselves to our significant others, former lovers, whether it's
we have an
on
episode,
the battlefield.
We have an episode.
There's so much stuff.
Remember the episode we did, harder business review, that we reviewed the article on masculine contest culture at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. We have athletics, we have games, but it all comes from a good, sport,
Right.
good energy.
It's healthy.
But when
there's boundaries, there's there's a goal. You know what I mean? You have to work together most of the time. Yeah.
But if you're struggling with really low self-value, low self-worth, really sort of shackling fear patterns, and you're competing from that energy, that can be dangerous and unhealthy. So basically, you have, that type of masculinity, where you're overactive in those 3 lower centers, but you haven't learned to move into the heart, the center of compassion, the center of love, the center of understanding, the center of joy, the center of gratitude, the center of ecstasy, the center of wisdom, the center of bliss, the center of, it just goes on and on. It's amazing. Kindness, the patience, empathy, inspiration, creativity, creation. Like, it just goes on and on how magnificent life can be when you're tuning into those emotions. And you literally, it completely transforms the way you actually see your outer environment. So that's a new kind of male. That's a new kind of masculinity. And I'm telling you, as a female, of course, now I've done a lot of work on myself. But as just speaking from my own perspective, it is so attractive to meet a man who is courageous enough to live with an open heart, courageous enough to give loving kindness to a stranger, it doesn't take away from the masculinity. It's just a different kind. It's an upgraded. It's a different level of humanity and kindness. And that is, because then what disappears? The jealousy, the fear, the anger, the control, all of that garbage that comes from, the lower nature, the animal self, that becomes tamed. It becomes dissolved slowly and surely. And then you have this beautiful human being who's safe and secure and not controlling, not fearful, not angry, not, jealous, none of those things. Those go away with the lower nature.
Yeah.
And it's just so marvelous. So there is, yeah.
if we're, I'm just thinking, integrating this even further, it's like, if we're always being triggered by stress and anxiety, being driven by stress and anxiety, we're not only just, we're in that lower frequency, but we're also in the lowest part of our brain, right? We're in that deep, like, survival brainstem, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're just keep moving. Like, we just keep, we don't even have the ability to think. We only have, or given the ability, when cortisol and adrenaline are around in our bloodstream, the ability to react, and a lot of times the way we're going to react is what we've done before, because that makes us feel safe, because anyway. So it's just like, there's so many parallels here, and to bring it into like, hey, like we live in a world that's always going to be that's triggering us in some way. It's like, start doing the work so you can begin to see the world differently, process things through your heart, and then begin to make different choices, for sure.
Yeah. And there's nothing, there's nothing feminine about tuning into your heart.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's,
Great point.
if
Thank
that
you.
were the case, then, you wouldn't be able to access those elevated emotions. Men would just be designed not to access them. It's a human component,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I mean, I think in the past, we've talked about that actually being feminine, but not in a bad way. In my view, men can tap into the feminine, and I think we need to. And we have a feminine side, but so many of us just close off to that. Would that be an inaccurate statement?
No, I was just trying to appease your audience. I don't want your audience to think I'm one of those feminizing women.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. Yeah. Bring it on. We're ready. We're ready, Kathleen. You got 2 against 1. Right, just kidding.
No.
Well, sorry, I digress there, but this is all well and great to hear all this, but what are some of the causes, the obstacles, if you will? Like Will and I are trying to start to break the show down into the 3-act play, if you will, and now we're talking about the obstacles or the villains, right? So what are some of those proverbial villains that are causing stress in men, and are these issues unique to men, or do women have similar challenges?
Well, so one, the most common trends that I see off the top of my head is one, people pleasing. So he feels he needs to take care of.
No, we just
Was that a grumble?
No, we
Was
had
just a
No More
grumble?
Mr. Nice Guy author
Yeah,
on,
we had,
and it was just
Robert
all about
Glover.
people pleasing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to I'm
No,
sorry,
you're
no
right.
disrespect to Kathleen.
No, continue.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
So
No.
No More
It's like,
Mr. Nice Guy is the title of Robert Glover's book, who we had on last week, and he speaks about how men try to live this smooth and problem-free life by being this nice guy, but really in essence they're being dishonest with themselves and dishonest with others, and then they're doing that through that people pleasing. So he was just echoing the people pleasing comment.
Thank you, John.
No, I'm
You're covering
so
my ass here.
glad. I'm so glad someone wrote a book.
Oh, you
it's
got to read
awesome.
this book, Kathleen.
Yeah.
As a person that works with men, you have to read this book. And
Okay, it's called No More Mr.
No More
Nice
Mr.
Guy.
Nice Guy. Yeah, it is. It's been out for 20 years. Yeah, it is. It's awesome. It's very. I mean, I was like, what? You want to, anybody that reads it, men or women. I actually just referred it to a friend in my yoga class who has a young son, and I'm like, I think you should know this.
Yeah,
because it's just really important information.
and women can support men in this journey.
We support each other, right? I mean, 100%. So, so let's talk about those common stressors and stuff that you see in men.
So there's wanting to appease everyone and make sure everyone's taken care of. There's the overproduction, kind of the wheel of constantly needing to produce more and more and more because his value is tied to what he can produce.
Yep.
That's a big one. I see that's hitting home there.
Yeah, I feel that. I've always wanted
John's
to be
back
a high
on the
performer.
John's
I feel like I'm on the couch here. That's good, but I feel that, like, always having to produce because the provider side of the masculine is
And that's
strong.
good and that's beautiful. But again, we're talking about balance,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
And so that's something I have a lot of conversations with men around is, you know, you implicitly, you are incredibly valuable just as you are and who you are, what you produce and what you do for your work and, monetarily, because you see a lot of men, a lot of fathers, they run into that sort of ATM issue down the road where like, here I am standing in the corner, just an ATM for my family,
Mm. Yep.
and yeah, and so there's a lack of value and appreciation and love there. So that's another thing. And then also, the third thing, which you mentioned earlier, is the just absolute crippling fear of speaking about um, a pain or difficulty or what have you, because then you're seen as weak. And so if you're seen as weak, then again, dealing with the animal, the survival part of the human being, of the man, if he's seen as weak, then he's not the provider or protector to
Yeah.
those around him, and
And he
he's
might
not an
actually,
adequate.
get kicked out of the herd. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, think about it.
Mm.
yeah.
That's like even deeper. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like on
And then
those
you
three
die.
low, right? Yeah. Then you exactly. It's like who wants to be part of
The
that?
what if game,
Yeah.
have you played the what if game? You follow it all the way down to the root cause, and then it's
Yeah.
always death.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's
Good.
like
but
kids
yeah,
asking why.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, so we talked about some of the common stressors. Like, so what are some of the like with your work? Some of the most destructive ways that you've seen like kind of stress or anxiety that kind of show up.
yeah,
And
yeah,
how does that taking it a step further? Then, like, how does that affect our health, their relationships, and even their sense of self?
yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? One of the many things that inspired me to start this company was I remember years ago reading the stat that particularly men in their midlife exhibit the highest rates of substance abuse and suicide.
Mhm.
And so I'm not trained, I'm not a therapist in any way to be handling the latter. But I do see a lot of excessive use of alcohol um,
Mm.
as a way to de-stress. Migraines, headaches, stuck.
Wow.
So one thing, divorce.
Right. Yeah.
What else? One thing is to look at. Oh, what was I gonna say? There was something in particular. It'll come back to me. And then overall, so you start to see a lot of cardiovascular issues as well if
Mm.
you're consistently engaging, interacting with that stress response day in and day out, high blood pressure. Um, and I actually did have a client who was diagnosed with testicular cancer. So you can have some cancer diagnoses, and I do want
Mm.
to emphasize that, um, and then of course you see, we're seeing that, you know, a decade, some guys are living in the stress response like
Oh.
20, 25 years of their life.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
sometimes, they're not even living life. They go to work, they go to the grocery store, they come home, their libido, right, decreased lifespan. So there are tons of, the body is not built to live in this state of
Yeah.
being. It's not. It's going to deteriorate. It will break down.
We,
And that's the incoherence, right? That's the disharmony in the systems
yeah.
of the body.
Mm.
You see in brain scans significant deterioration of frontal cortex brain matter, right?
Damn.
That gray matter, because where you put your attention is where blood flows. That your attention is where your life force energy goes.
Yeah.
That's where life begins to grow. So if your attention is always in the lizard, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, that's where blood flow goes, and
Right.
that's where more brain matter begins to grow.
Yeah.
And so you literally, what's fascinating is you can start to see mild to moderate forms of lobotomizing happening in the brain for people
Wow.
who've been living in chronic stress for so long, because there literally is deterioration of gray matter in the frontal cortex.
Mm.
Um, and so there are so many impacts. I mean, just disharmony in the home.
Yeah.
Um, so it's important to recognize, and we're only just now understanding this. I don't even know if it's mainstream yet. I don't know if my work is mainstream yet.
Our
We're
work,
gonna help to get it there, and you're gonna help to get
we're
ours
kind of
there.
doing the same
I
thing.
heard there
Yeah.
was a documentary on Netflix about neuroplasticity, so it must be getting popular.
Yeah.
I think all this
Um,
stuff is, I feel. I mean, there's
yeah,
definitely, I mean, I'm seeing more and more. I mean, look, I have a family, or not my own family at this point, but I have like an extended family. And I'm one of the ones that have kind of popped out and realized like, hey, this is definitely a healthier path forward in life. I see my family often, several times a year. And and they're just regular folk. They're from Pennsylvania. I love them dearly. They're great people, but they're just starting to kind of wake up. It's
yeah,
nice that
yeah,
we're actually stress can be in the conversation. I'm definitely having more conversation with men about their feelings and stress and stuff like that. So
yeah.
it's like slowly beginning to open,
Mm,
and
hmm.
begin to be part of the conversation. And I see so many more and more people are talking about meditation, and it's pretty awesome, to be part
Yeah,
of this, to be on the forefront of all of us, of this movement, because I think it's happened actually pretty fast, and it's going to keep accelerating as we move forward,
good,
for sure. Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, the last point I'll make is that your emotions are, the emotion, energy is frequency, right? And
Yeah.
frequency is information for the body.
Right.
So if you are for the nervous system, and so if you are, sending, it's like in the old, well, I still listen to the radio, but when you turn on the radio, right, and you can't get a signal, oh gosh, oh man, that's a really great song, but I'm driving through West
Mm.
Virginia, it's starting to, you know, there's a lot of static,
Yeah.
and so that's what it's like for the nervous system. It says, oh, there's a problem going on in the body, and I need to inform the systems, the necessary systems in the body to carry out appropriate function to alleviate or eliminate a potential problem. But chronic stress causes silent inflammation in the body, right? Silent inflammation is static on the radio, so communications are not happening. And you can also tie this also to lifestyle choices as well. That
Yeah.
also compounds. But so then the nervous system says, okay, well, I'm just doing the best I can, but I'm not getting a signal. I can't communicate. And so then slowly that's how systems stop performing optimally and you begin to develop disease.
So we've touched on some of the villains, the challenges, the obstacles, right?
Yes, yes.
So now let's, that in the third act,
Yeah.
and
Act
this is,
three.
yeah, this is Will's. Well, it's not Will's, but he's pushed it, or not pushed it, but pulled it into the show, and I love it. It makes for I think a much more interesting show. But the payoff, the resolve, like the solutions, right? So let's talk solutions. Um, what what do you feel are your top three secrets, right? If someone to watch like 3 minutes of the show and nothing else, what are your top three secrets to rewiring that chronic stress cycle and then creating more peace in your life? I almost said more stress. We don't want to create more stress. We want to create more peace.
Anti-stress.
I developed a program for creating more stress.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be very
Yeah.
easy,
I
probably.
think that's called the military.
No, it's called fucking Instagram.
I
You know what I mean? You
Social
just
media,
start
that's
out. There
right.
you go, Kathleen. We're vibing, sister. We're
It's
vibing
golden
here.
news,
Yeah, we're
man. It's
Yeah,
vibing.
golden news.
Yeah, it's called the fucking news.
yeah.
I know, right? And they've made billions anyway.
Oh yeah. We could take that avenue later if you
Yeah.
No, yeah. Let's go. What are your three secrets there, Kathleen? What are the secrets?
want. People lean in.
Yeah, right.
Um, well, no, I mean, look, it's one, um, connecting to 0 point, right? Disconnecting from your outer environment. And I mean, you can literally just look up YouTube videos on all this stuff and,
Okay.
compile it and start experiencing it for yourself. You can also check out my YouTube channel.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
But
Great, thank you.
so disconnecting from your outer environment, that means closing your eyes every day, going somewhere quiet, ideally,
Mm,
and disconnecting from, space and time and identity and that kind of thing. Um, and then find some really good breath patterns. Just a little bit of breath can allow you to activate the
mm,
parasympathetic
Right.
branch of the nervous system. So just get into that real calm state so the body feels safe and calm and relaxed. And also, I want to note when you're tuning into that place of you know space, no space, no time. What's happening is you're shutting off a particular part of the brain, um, called the default mode
Mode
network,
network. Yeah.
yeah,
and
great.
that's the part of the brain that's responsible. It has many, tasks, but it's responsible for predicting, right? So you're like, oh God, what happened in the past, and predicting the future, and so, turning that part of the brain off, getting the body relaxed through breaths, and then connecting to, the elevated emotions. Set your intention. I want to be a man who is confident,
Mm,
calm, or more understanding, or more patient. Those are all frequencies. Everything is energy. Everything is energy.
mm.
Beautiful.
And by
And
using
yeah.
the energy, how does the energy of a statement like that begin to help you rewire, or at least calm down, or see the world differently?
Oh, right. The energy of I am a man of
Right,
patience.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like it's a statement. There's energy to it, but it's like, if a man's listening and hasn't done that work, it's like that sounds like a bunch of hippie bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Right? I'm maybe I'm
I
being
love flying off the handle.
well, no, right? I mean, that's like, I don't know. I mean,
Such a
I
hippie.
yeah, well, no, I mean, like, because I feel like that's part of
That's
the
funny.
energy that we're like, kind of trying to change. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
because it's like, when you begin to threaten somebody's identity that they've been living in this chronic stress for like 25, 30 years, it really becomes who they are. They begin
Mm.
to hear a different way of being and begin to talk to themselves in a different way. It's like, that's, you know what I mean? The resistance is very real and can be very strong. So like,
Mm.
I think it'd be helpful by saying that, well, how does that begin to change us?
So, I would say if this is a very foreign, okay, first of all, it's already a goal or intention of,
Okay.
one of your listeners, let's say. A man has the intention to be more patient with his children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the intention. If he closes his eyes and says, and he gets quiet and still, and he says, I am a man of patience, but that doesn't activate anything in him, then what I would suggest is looking to someone else, another man of patience, someone else who's inspiring to him. And what do you feel like when you're around him, when he is being patient? How does that make you feel? Right?
Right.
And so then learn that emotion. It's a frequency. Learn that frequency
Mm,
and replicate it. Um,
mm,
and and remember that, when you. The other thing I want to say is, like, you don't need to get caught up on, cultivating all these different, characteristics. If you just train your brain and nervous system on the frequencies of calm,
mm,
peace,
mm,
love,
mm,
feeling safe.
mm.
If you just, if you do that, everything else begins to take shape. When you feel calm, you're more patient. When
Right.
you feel peaceful, you don't need to consume as much. You
Yeah.
feel because you feel content.
Mm.
When you feel peaceful, your anger goes away.
we're also lifting ourselves out of the lower three, right, into the heart and being more, living in more harmony energetically, right? Because we talked about the chakra system earlier,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's one way, I guess that's one way we can kind of wrap that put a little bow around this. It's like when we speak to ourselves in that way, we begin to bring naturally those vibrations in. I think it's great what you talked about. Like, if you have trouble accessing patience within yourself, it's like, look at someone that is patient. You can really, not just, you can obviously watch what they do, see what they say, but you can just also feel the presence of patience, which is very important. You know what I mean? So you can even maybe just getting around someone that's more patient or more kind or whatever attributes that you feel you need, that could be one way, to be around someone that's like that. And then maybe ask some questions about it too. Like, God forbid, about how why are they so patient, or how do they get to that place, or why can you be so kind when the world seems so chaotic or something?
Right. Yeah. Emulate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
John.
yeah, I was just going to say, we've talked about some of the ways that we can de-stress, find that peace, tap into the positive energies. But and that's a lot of internal work, right? What about the external, and specifically speaking about the external in a good light, right? We've talked about kind of disconnecting from the external, but I want to talk about community and kind of the importance for men being with other men, speaking with other men, being open and vulnerable with other men. Why do you feel that's so important, and how can men start building those connections?
Yeah, I love that question. So two answers. So one, your outer world, your community, your connections, the people you attract into your life will not change until you change. So
Thank you.
if you're Will's like, amen.
No, it's
For
you're
sure.
speaking truth. You're speaking truth, and it's like
I'm just thinking about the men that are in my life now since I've discovered mindfulness and meditation, and not only discovered it, but being very open about mindfulness and meditation, being open about my feelings, being transparent and vulnerable. The men that are in my life now are so much more real. There's so much more depth there, and the support is definitely there. Will being one of the top guys there in that list. The support that I get from Will, I can tell him, hey man, I'm feeling down today, or I can be open and honest and vulnerable and real with Will. And I think that's where the support truly comes in. Otherwise, it's going to be like, hey, let's go to the bar, let's go watch a football game. Well, I don't necessarily feel that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
but there's
Well,
no
if it's
real
self-medicating,
depth.
then it is wrong.
Right.
You know,
Or if that's always the conversation, you know what I mean? Or it's always the party
bang my head
continues.
on the
Well,
wall. Yeah.
welcome to a lot of men's life. I
Yeah.
mean, I think men would be like, instead of going and being part of, that continual conversation, which really needs nowhere. Maybe that's what leads men to a lot of isolation. Is like, I'd rather just be alone.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm just drawing a theory here, but it's like, anyway, Kathleen, we're coming back to men and, people, men getting together. Yeah.
Well, so John, you can look, if you look at your male circle now, and you compare them to your male circle 20 years ago, what are the differences?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to knock my old circle, because a lot of them I'm still friends with, and funny enough, not funny enough, but real enough, they've matured as well.
Grown.
They've grown, right?
And
and what we connect about is much deeper than what we used to connect about. But there, and I come from an ultra masculine community, the Navy SEAL teams, there's, hey, how much can you bench press? How many pull-ups can you do? How fast can you run? It's how well can you shoot? It's a lot of chest beating, right? Hey, look at me. And that was fun. It was fun back in the day, but again, there's not a whole lot of depth there.
Sustainable.
Now it's not. Sure. As we age, it's not sustainable. But now when we connect, it's about much more important things. So I would say, yeah, the difference in the circles, it's the yin and the yang. It's the contrast between the dark and the light.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more light in the circles
Yeah.
that I'm surrounded by
That's a
now.
great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's because you've become more light.
Oh, well,
Wow.
thank
Oh,
you.
God.
No, but seriously, that's how energy works.
Right.
Everything and
Yeah.
everyone is energy. Every item, every situation, every person has an energy field around it. And when you start to change
Yeah.
and become more light than
Mm.
dark, become, lighter than, less heavy, less dense, more energy than matter, when you start, that becomes part of your energy field, and
Yeah.
and this begins to attract new people. So
Yeah.
that's how you change your outer environment,
Yeah.
and just let it happen. The universe will take care of
Yeah, I
it.
was just gonna
God
say
will take care of it. You
Right.
I was just gonna say it's like what you are seeking is also seeking you. If you're
absolutely.
seeking more light and seeking more of those relationships, I mean, John and any other man that's listening, it's like it's interesting. You're right. I mean, it's like
And
you
you're
start
being it, though.
right.
You're
You're
being the
being
light,
the human being and
yeah,
of the light, and
being the
you're
light, being
trying to get
yeah.
out there, and it's just
Mhm.
like, and it's just gonna also help you if you are seeking that the light, in this very general context. It's like you're going to start asking different questions, and those
Mm.
questions are going to help you to probably take different actions, and they're going to show up in different environments. You're going to create those opportunities in order to create these healthier relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And to answer your question, at a lower level of energy, as a male at a lower level of energy, you're not going to attract other men who want to have these conversations or create a deep community. At a higher level of energy, you will. I
I
found.
guess
yeah.
for Kathleen, if men
Oh
are
yeah.
interested in getting in touch with
Yeah.
you, being a part of your pre-sensing method,
Hmm.
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the
For
best
sure.
way for them to get a hold of you and
Yeah.
start working on themselves?
Yeah. Well, check out my YouTube channel.
This has been great, Kathleen. I
Yeah,
really
This has
thanks so
been
appreciate it.
much.
so
I
We
fun.
know.
we
What a
thoroughly
joy.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've hit
So
on so many levels. Yeah.
um, in our show, Kathleen, as we started the show, we do a grounding practice, right?
Oh,
But we
beautiful.
also like to do a grounding practice at the end. And if our guest is a practitioner or a teacher of any sort, we always like to offer that up to them. No pressure.
Yeah.
We would love to throw that out to you if you're
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
leading something for us and the audience.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. Close your eyes. Feel your feet firmly planted on the earth. Rest your palms on your thighs. Take a deep breath into your belly. Count 8 seconds on your exhale. And begin to relax into your body. And attune your awareness into the center of your chest, into your heart. And breathe in again, one more time, fully and deeply. This time, bringing your inhale all the way down to the soles of your feet. Count 8 seconds on your exhale, becoming more aware of your heart. And you can exhale from your mouth each time. And then just one more deep breath in, breathing fully and deeply all the way into your belly, expanding your lungs, your tummy with air. 8 seconds on your exhale, attuning even deeper to your heartbeat. Now just 2 more breaths. I want you to breathe into your heart and hold your breath. And as you hold your breath, I want you to relax into your heart, into your chest. And breathe out. And sense an elevated mood if you like. Appreciation, joy for life. Breathe into your heart and hold your breath. And as you relax into your heart, feel this elevated emotion. Allow a smile to form across your face and breathe out. And you can come back, opening your eyes when you're ready.
Awesome.
Where are we? What are we doing? What happened? what?
Oh,
What planet are we on?
I know what planet are we on? What are we doing? That was awesome, Kathleen.
That was.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You got a great, very
shit.
calming voice.
I was going to say that in the middle of the fucking meditation. I was like, God damn, dude. Fucking top notch.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
You definitely gotten
It's
into the
natural.
right industry for your calming demeanor and your voice.
But I think it's also
Thank
that
you.
is a projection of what's going on the inside.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
True.
It really is. I mean, because like, you know, and just the last little piece of the chakras
Yeah.
here before we close, it's like, you know, if you're connected to your heart, right, what you speak is going to be more truthful. It's going to be heard. It's going to be felt, you know, because you're coming from that center of the heart instead of it being, you know, some sort of connection belief in the brain. So, wonderful, Kathleen.
Yeah. The beauty, the last thing I'll say, and I'll let you go. The beauty is that at a certain point on the journey, it becomes impossible to speak anything but the truth.
Yeah,
Your heart won't let you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. That's a great way
So,
to close this out.
It is indeed.
John, anything?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I just want to say, what I will say is just to promote a little bit more of what we're doing is John is going on a fitness journey this year. We're going to be documenting over the next 9 months. John is looking to actually not just get in great shredded shape, but actually going to step on stage and in a physique competition in Denver in August. I know, and I'm going to be there. We're going to be there. I'm supporting my brother. But we're also, what we're trying to do also, if you want to get and work towards more health this year, we are actually going to have a team. We already signed up. We have a team in a Spartan race in Dallas on October 19th. That's going to be up on our website. So if you'd like to get in shape and have a goal to work towards and be inspired by John's fitness journey and the documentation that we're going to do.
Will's also got a fitness journey. He's already in great shape, but he hasn't climbed ropes or obstacles.
I know. It's true. I got to work on my fucking pull-ups, dude. I got to be like, God damn, dude, I'm working out. If you want to be part of all this great stuff that we're doing here, I mean, go to mentalkingmindfulness.com. Kathleen, I cannot thank you enough for just bringing your wonderful, graceful presence here, but also the work that you're putting in the world. You can hear it, you can feel it, and we need more people like you. So anybody that's listening, please reach out to Kathleen. You know, check out Pre-Sensing on her YouTube or go to the website. And thank you, all of you, both of you, for creating this opportunity for create more health in more people's lives. So thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Until next time. Take care.
Peace. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you walk away with some new tools and insights to guide you on your life journey. New episodes are being published every week, so please join us again for some meaningful discussion. For more information, please check out mentalkingmindfulness.com.